Hi, it's Marie with Marie's Cards and More. Today I'm going to go over some of the items in the catalog. On page 74 in the new catalog, the May through August 2026. You may hear one of my little kitties in the background. She's talking to me. But here I want to go over some of the tools that I have. So here's the Stampin' Cut emboss machine. This is the 6-inch one, and this is what it looks like. Get you a nice close-up view of it. So it's just like this. It has the two panels that fold down like this. It has the handle that you crank, which is right here on the side. I can't really see that. But anyways, it comes with the plates that you need. Kind of reaching behind me here. So I'm going to get this out of the way. So that's that one. And it folds up so that it's easy to store. Now the plates that you get with it, here's your base plate, plate number 1, and it tells you the sandwich that you need for whatever project that you're going to do. So if you're using it with the thin dies, you would use plate 1, 2, and 3, and 3. So let's look at those plates. So that's, excuse me, plate 1. Yes, I still have the crud. Here's plate number 2, which I call it a shim because I think that's what it is. It's kind of a shim. So there's plate number 2. And then you would use a plate number 3. And as you can see, this one's well loved. And I cut into both sides, so I flip and flop it all around. So there's number 2. Then you would put your paper and your die, and then you put another plate number 3, and then you feed it through the embossing machine, or cut and emboss machine. Okay. Now, with the standard embossing folders, you would use plate 1, which is this one, and then you would use 2 of the plate 3s. So a plate 3, your embossing folder with the paper, and plate 3. Excuse me. And you would run that through your cut and emboss machine. Now, when you're embossing, make sure you only go one way with the fold of the embossing folder first. Don't bring it back through. Just go one way. And if you want to go through a second time, bring it back and go through with the folded first. Okay. Now, there's also using with the 3D embossing folders. For that, you need a different sandwich. So for that, you need your plate 1. Then you do the embossing folder with the cardstock. And then you use plate number 4. So your plate 1, embossing folder with cardstock, fold first, plate 4, same thing. I'm so sorry. I don't start coughing until I start trying to do a video. Okay, so that is the Stampin' Cut emboss machine, the 6-inch, and it's $140. Now you can purchase separately replacement cutting plates of the 3, because you're going to cut into them. So you can purchase those separately. All right. So now let's look at the mini. So here is the mini Stampin' Cut emboss machine. He's only $69. He's 3.5 inches. And here he is. And it's the same thing. I happened to get the blue one when they first came out. I think they're all white now. Same thing. Crank. Just like the big guys, just a smaller footprint. Him out of the way, and let's show you the plates. So you get a plate 1. Now, as you can see, this is well loved, but the sandwich is the same. Excuse me. This one doesn't need the shim. So you have a plate 1, a plate 2 that you're going to cut into, your die with your cardstock. Excuse me. Die with your cardstock. Plate number 2 on top. Put it through, crank, 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 right? Okay. Now, if you're going to use a 3D embossing folder, you need the plate 4. So it's the same thing. Plate 1, your embossing folder with a cardstock. Plate 4, crank it through. Okay? So it tells you right here on here what you need. You can also purchase separately whoops, sorry, I forgot to show you the plate 3. My goodness, this one is for your standard embossing folders. You have a plate 3. So for 3D, you have a plate 4. For standard, you have a plate 3, and it's still the same sandwich. You put the base plate and plate number 1, your embossing folder with the cardstock, and then plate 4, and crank it through. Okay, sorry, I forgot about that little plate there. All right. And you can purchase a set of the cutting plates as well, separately, so that you can replace them and keep them looking all nice and pretty. As you can see, mine are very well loved. One moment while I take a sip. And cough. Certainly hope I get over whatever this is soon. The impressions plate, I already said I don't have that. Wish I did. I will order it. So here's a bone folder. So you can score and make crisp folds on paper and cardstock. It's 6 inches long, $8. And there it is. And you get to, you know, crease. Here, I've got a card right over here. So when you score, and then you can come back and you can crease and you can make really good tight creases. So there's your bone folder. Put him away. Now you should take your pick tool. So it's a multi-purpose tool. Tacky putty end, picks up small objects, 2 changeable double end tips with paper piercer, mini spatula, small stylus, and large stylus. So let's look at one. So here mine is that I have set up, and there's the putty end, and you just turn it, and when you turn it, the putty will start oozing out. Okay, so that's the putty end. Now you can replace these, and I will show you that with the replacement, but that's what it looks like. So on that end, it doesn't have another tool. Now look at this end. Here's your piercer. So it's kind of sharp. And as you can see, it locks and unlocks. And on this end is the little spatula. So there that is. So you could switch it around. Whatever you would use most common, I think is the way you would leave it. I use this one, most common. Okay, so there's that. But you can also get a stylus. I'm so sorry. And here is the stylus. So you can see there's a larger ball and then the smaller ball. So you could use that if you're using your Simply Scored scoring tool. you could use that. But you can also, you could use this for all different reasons. If you have like a flower that you want to make it kind of cup up, put the piece of paper in there and twirl it like that. Lots of reasons for a stylus. Okay, what else? So that's that one right here. Take your pick tool. Yes, baby. My kitty's back in. She wants attention. Let's pop down here to the Take Your Pick Tool crafter tips. So now you have interchangeable tips for the Take Your Pick tool. There's 3 specialty tips. There's a hobby blade, a pick tip, and a rotary. I'm so sorry. Let me take another sip. Maybe I ought to let my cat talk for me because she's doing a really good job. So here's the rotary. So, oops. What baby? Oh, she is talkative today. Yes, you are. Okay. So there would screw in. Yes, baby, I know. She's like, you're ignoring me, and I don't like it. And then you have this little slide here. You see that? And, oops, sorry, I hit you. And then you could, you know, score, cut, whatever. It's kind of sharp, so keep that away from the kiddos and stored where, you know, you don't get cut or little hands don't get a hold of it. So there's that. Yes. Come here, Riley. So now here is the blade. As you see, I left the little thing on that one. Come here. Come here. And then you take the lid off, and there's your blade. Always put that back on and unscrew it. And then the third thing was, what was the third thing? Let's see. I'm so sorry as I sit here and sniffle and snort. Yes, I know. Next one has like a pick on it. Huh. Oh, what have I done with that one? Huh. Hang on. Oh, silly me. Here it is. Okay. So you also get a pick tip and a rotary perforating tip. So we already, a hobby blade, a pick tip, and a rotary perforating. Okay. And there is that one. Yee. He's kind of scary, isn't he? So you can use that for weeding. If you do vinyl or whatever, and you could pick things out, weeding. So I keep him in there. Okay. And then that's a rather sharp, pokey end. Okay. So that will bring me, between me coughing and clearing my throat and my cat talking. Let's see if we can get through this video. Who has cats? Do you have cats? Do you have dogs? Bunnies? Tell me in the comments what kind of critters you have and how many. I have 2 cats at this time. Yes, baby. We've gone through dogs, cats, aquariums. We had a saltwater aquarium, a freshwater aquarium. I've had rabbits. I've had turtles. As a child, I had little white mice. They were very cute, but they're very smart. They knew how to get out of their cage. Had a hamster. Okay, so here we go. Back to our tools. So here's your take your pick die brush tip. And there it is. So for this tip, it says it comes with 2 foam pads. I have one. Don't know what I did with the other one. But you take your die cut piece that has a whole bunch of little pieces in it, and you can just brush this brush over it, and it just pokes them out. Sometimes I use the foam, but other times I don't. I just do that and they come out. And if they don't come out with that, I use the Wicked In to teach them a lesson. So there's the take your pick die brush tip, and it's $16. Okay, so I'm going to put those away. I just keep all my little extras right here. You can get the putty refills, and this is what they look like. Whoops. So I pull them off. Come off there. Looks like that. And then you would just screw that in to the holder. Okay. So let's close that up. Okay. Pardon me. So cutting blades, multi-pack. So you can get replacement blades for the paper trimmer. So that's what this is. Looks like this. You just pop them out and pop them into your trimmer. So always have some of these on hand. There's nothing worse than you're in the middle of a project, you're cutting your cardstock, and all of a sudden all it's doing is fraying, and it's because the blade has gone dull. So get you a pack of those. So let me show you the paper trimmer. So here's the paper trimmer. Oh, and those blades are $14. So the paper trimmer includes both imperial and metric measurements, 1 cutting blade and 1 scoring blade. The cutting surface is approximately, you knew I was going to cough, didn't you? 12 3/8 by 7 3/4. The ruler extends to 17 inches. Okay, so let's take a peek at it. Now, be kind to it, because it probably could use a good cleaning. So here it is. So here's my, you've got like a bump so that you push your cardstock up there. Here's all of your measurements. It goes all the way out like that. Can't get it in the camera. It goes all the way out to, what is it, 17 and something, 17 3/4. And it's got good marks so that you'll be able to tell. So you have your inch, you know, you have your 16th, you have your 1/8, you have your quarters, you have your halves. So it's real good. And the lines go all the way down and keep going all the way down to the bottom. So that's very helpful. Now, let's close that. So you do have your 2 blades. Here's a cutting blade. And then you have a scoring blade, which is light gray. You can also get, I believe, the replacement for the scoring blade. I don't have any of those, but pretty sure you still can. That maybe you lost yours. I can't see that would wear out, but you know, who knows? Maybe you do a whole lot of scoring. Okay. So you would cut and score in this little channel here. Well, for some maintenance on this, since it obviously looks like it needs to have some cleaning, I could take my take your pick tool, stick it down in there, and drag it down that channel and clean it. I can let me use a different one. I can kind of thump it like that. Sometimes that will get those little pieces out. Or a lot of times what I do is I just take a piece of cardstock and slide it down in there and drag it out. And then flip it out. Now, I do that quite frequently, and look at that. I have all that in there in that track. So you need to make sure that track is kept clean. That way you get the best possible cuts that you can get. Okay, there we go. Now y'all get to watch me clean my trimmer. It has this little plastic arm that does click down, and it also has measurements here so that you can use those measurements. On these, on both the scoring and on the cutting blade, see how it has the mark so that you can know exactly where you're cutting or you're scoring to. So those are really good. It just opens and closes, and they have it here. I find it easier. I always open and close it from the bottom. I don't know. So that's what that is. Has a little place, you know, you could hang it up. So that is the paper trimmer. I don't have the Simply Scored scoring tool. It's like a big thing with a lot of graduated channels. I don't have that. Nor do I have the impressions plate yet. But I do have the Color Coach. I've hidden it over here. Here it is. So the Color Coach includes monochromatic, complementary, analogous, I can't say that and I'll start coughing, and triadic, three. Information for our colors, and it's a wheel size. So this is what it looks like. Color your way, complementary, monochromatic, tells you about neutrals, analogous. So when you're looking at this, you can see the little windows, and it has all of our colors. Doesn't have the new in colors, obviously. But you can figure out what your complementary color is. So let's say for Petal Pink, if I want to do something with threes, I could pick 3 of these colors, right? Or if I want complementary, let's just look across. So Calypso Coral, and if I look across, maybe Coastal Cabana or Pool Party. Okay. Analogous, however you say that, is colors that are right next to one another. So all of these would be that. So it's it's a good tool to have so that you kind of know, and it explains a little bit on the back, like complementary, you know, opposite attract, that kind of thing. So this is a good tool. I use it some, and it is $12.50. Okay, so that's everything on page 74 that I have. So unfortunately, I don't have these 2 things. I will get the impressions plate. Doubt that I would get the scoring tool. Okay, so the Stampin' Positioner. Now we're on page 75. And I've showed you this before, but let's drag him out. Here is the Stampin' Positioner. So you can align stamp images or use for repeat stamping for borders and backgrounds. There's 1 base, 1 large stamp pad, 1 small alignment plate, 2 magnets. Okay. Now, I like stickies, so I have this sticky paper that is not a Stampin' Up product. So We'll get it out of the way. So here's the platform. It has these little pegs here. It has little baby pegs. It has these bouncy ones. It does have some measurements here and some measurements here. It has this nice little triangle here, and you've seen on other videos of mine, I've shown you how to use this. It comes with magnets. Here's the top plate. You put these holes in there. The top plate also has the little bouncy ones, and it has a grid. Now you could purchase separately the grid paper. Whoops. And it has the holes. So here's the pad of the grid paper. It's not sticky. I wish it was. So you could just put the grid paper right here on these little pegs, like that. Right? And then that way, you know, when it gets dirty, you just toss it and get you a clean sheet out. So you put your cardstock in here, you lay your stamp down, push it down, pick up the stamp, ink down, whoops, ink, you know, and so forth. So there is the Stampin' Positioner. It also comes with this little arm. And this one has the holes right here. And you place them like that. And this you could put like, oh, I don't know, a row of sentiments, row of flowers, whatever you want. And in whatever interval you want. And then you pick up your stamps, and then you can stamp it down, slide it over, stamp it down, slide it over, stamp it down. So that is a Stampin' Positioner. I love a positioner. It really has helped me save up on cardstock. I don't make, it depends on what I'm stamping. If I'm afraid that I'm not going to get a good stamp with my block, then I'll use my positioner. Okay, so next is a sip. Hang on. All right, next is the glass mat. And I'll pick up this real quickly because it's probably, you see the ring light, but here is my glass mat. And I do love it. Easy to clean. I wouldn't use anything super sharp on it. You can, you know, scratch it. But for videos, I cover it up because of that glare. So with the glass mat, you get one clear tempered glass mat. It's 17 by 14 inches. It includes corner protectors, which are in my drawer. It has the non-slip feet, so it has those little rubber things on the bottom. It comes with a silicone mat and a 4 insert square palette and a cleaning cloth. Okay, so it comes with silicone mat. I wonder what I've done with the silicone mat. Let's see here. Hang on. I'm trying to find all my goodies here. Well, there's a cleaning cloth. And there is that. Oh, okay. Silicone mat. That's what this is. I was like, there's not a separate one. I'm thinking, what am I missing? It comes with this mat, and you could put it on the side like this, and then you could put something here, and it won't, you know, slide around. You could drop some ink. Say you're using your re-inkers, and you can put some of those. You can put different colors in there. Use it as like a palette. And then it comes with a cleaning cloth, which is what this is. You just add water to it and it becomes pliable. So that is what that is. Let's get those out of the way. And I love my glass mat. I haven't really used the palette that much, but I use it sometimes. Stampin' Pierce mat. Here he is. Now, if you're gonna stamp with photopolymer stamp set, you know, the clear ones, they don't have any cushion like the red rubber, you know, used to have that cushion. So you need to have some kind of cushion. So this mat works very well for that. So it adds the cushion. So does just, you know, a pad of paper or a pad of grid paper. Anything that will give you that cushion will help. But you can also pierce on this. So you want to make little holes in something, and you use one of the piercing, and you come in here and you can pierce through your paper. So that's what that's for. Next is the silicone craft sheet. So here it is, and it's really good when you're using your tapes and you don't want to, you know, drag the tape across your paper. You know, that you've got underneath, you're protecting your work surface. So when you put the tape on it, let's get some tape out of here. I'll say I was taping this, and I got tape on my mat. As you can see, it's like, I don't want that tape on me. But let's say you got some tape on there. Whew, it is a bit arguing with me. And then you could just roll it up. Okay. So that's what that's for. So if you can get the tape to stick, there we go. It did not want to stick on there. Well, then you could just clean it up just like that. So the silicone mat, that's what that's for. It's a good tool. It will save getting a bunch of tape all over your paper if you're, you know, working on paper. The crafting grid paper, I don't have this particularly, but I have this one, you know, as you can see, is my working surface. So that's what that is. You can protect your crafting surface. It has 50 double-sided sheets, the 17 by 14. Stampin' Mist Cleaner. It's right here. And so you can, you know, spritz it on your stamps to clean them. They used to have this, which I loved. You put the wet on one side and the dry on another, but they don't have that anymore. But if you happen to have it, well, that's what you would use your Stampin' Mist with. Or you can clean your stamps with this. Let's say that, you know, they get pretty, I don't know, a lot of ink on them. You're not really getting them as clean as you want. Well, use your mist on them and then wipe it off. And then you can use your Simply Chamois. And as you can see, mine is well loved. And even with all that ink on it, look, it does not come off. Maybe a little, if you really rub it hard, it'll come off on paper. But what you do is you just clean your stamps with this, and then ever so often take it to your sink and rinse it out. And I probably need to rinse mine out since it was coming a tad bit off in that paper. It needs to be cleaned. Okay, so the last thing, ouch, I'm going to show you. Tried to close my finger up in my drawer. Are our blocks. Now you can get it in a set or a bundle, or you could buy them individually. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I'm just having trouble, aren't I? So the first one is block B, and here he is, and he's cute. He's a cute little block. It's a good size block. All the blocks have this finger hold. They got a good weight to them. So once I started using their blocks, I started stamping much better, much better quality. Block C is this little guy, and I use him a lot. And he's good. Excuse me. He still has the finger holds. So he's very good. Let's go to block D. I probably use block D the most. Just a good, solid block. So there he is. He has, again, the finger holds. Block E is this guy. And he's a good size. You know, some of the stamps are getting kind of big. You need a bigger block. If you don't have a bigger block, then you're going to need that stamping platform. So that's a good size. Block F, I call him the daddy of them all. Here's block F. That's a good size, isn't it? And I'm going to use this and, or not sure if this video go first or the other one, but anyways, I will use this very soon if I haven't already. So block F. And then lastly is block H. And he's real good for those long sentiments. So very good. So those are the blocks. You can buy them all individually, or you can save 10% when you buy them in a bundle. So I just kind of wanted to go over a few things with you. Sometimes I like to see the product rather than just a, you know, a picture. So if you have any questions about this, please reach out to me. And if not, then I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. And bye for now.